Everyone, Brian here, and I kind of want to give my little 2 cents. I probably mentioned this before in a previous video on kind of saying what I feel is, what's bullshit basically. Now I know Angry Video Game Nerd, James is his real name is. He's kind of started this series here on the YT as well as on the game trailers and Screw Attack. And it's like I said in my previous video when I kind of did my response to what he said in episode 11, and then kind of give my own little suggestion of what I felt was bullshit. I said I found some of his things very humorous, and the reason I said I found them humorous is because, he's basically telling the truth on some of the things that's bullshit. And my bullshit deal was the fact that you always had that little yellow thing come on your computer saying, "Here's the updates." Well, I got something else that's bullshit. That is total bullshit, if you will. And you know what's bullshit, in my opinion, besides that little yellow little yellow bastard on your computer? I'll tell you what's bullshit. Having to go to a video store or call a video store or going online, like here on a computer, and going on, say, a video game website that rents video games to find out that the video game you want is not there. Now I know you might say, well, Brian, doesn't that apply just to like the new ones? Well, it's not just the new ones, it's some of the older ones as well. I mean, I'll give you an example. I know I reviewed this game previously on one of my channels, on my backup channel anyway. But I was trying to find this game before I had to watch it for a friend. My friend basically gave this game to me to watch over for him while he and his family got their Xbox taken care of. Xbox 360, that is. And I tried to find this game before that all happened. Usually online it said medium. Now, when it said medium, that was pretty much a good sign on the video game site that I was on. Except there was a problem. Every time I thought I was going to be on the verge of getting this game, I'd end up getting something else, because the medium is apparently sold out. Can you believe that? Now that's bullshit right there. Now I can understand if it's very low or low, and low is sometimes a good percentage as well, but very low, I can understand that. But come on, if you're an online video game store that rents games, you should have a huge amount of the newer games as well. I mean, heck, I'm trying to find a game like Punch-Out or the one I bought recently, which is UFC, which is a good game. But I'm trying to find a game like, say, Punch-Out, and yet I can't find the bastard because it's very low. You'd think, like I said, for an online service, you'd have a peripheral of games out there. And of course, if you have a video game store close to you that rents games, and let's say a very well-known video game store, which I'm not going to name, but I'm pretty sure you know what that game store is, and they say, oh, if we don't have this game, we'll do this or we'll do that, you'd think they'd have that game, especially if they got 2 copies. I mean, come on, I used to work at an entertainment store that rented video games, and they always made sure to have copy after copy after copy. But here's how certain video game stores, like certain game store, like I said, they won't be named, work things. They will literally take a game like this, they will take the game out of it, put it into the case that you have to basically be given to you when you go to this counter. And why is that? Because if this right here is not on the shelf, it's not there. And sometimes you're very lucky if you're going to find 2 or 3 copies of it. Basically, what you're hoping for is if they have 2 or 3 copies of the game box itself on the shelf. Kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Because if you only have 2 or 3, then what's the deal of saying you're the largest outlet of video game rentals, outside of online video game renting? I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose if you only have 2 or 3. And then the rented out? I mean, come on. Give me a break. In fact, In fact, the thing you have to do probably with a video game store or video store like that is you got to call ahead and say, hey, can you reserve this game for me? Or you have to basically call them and say, hey, can you call me back? Here's my phone number. Let me know when the game's in. Basically, you got to reserve the bastard either before it comes out, or you have to reserve it for when it comes in, they can call you. And that's complete BS if the video game store is supposed to be the outlet for the most video games and most movies out there. I mean, heck, they have more movies than they have games. And that's bullshit right there. Believe it or not, agree with me or not, online or not, they should have that plethora lot of games so that you could be able to play it to your heart's content. You could have your opportunity of getting your own copy of it to rent, to try out. And if they don't, believe it or not, that's bullshit. And that's all I have to say. I'm Brian, and that's what I consider bullshit. An angry video game nerd. I bet you would even agree on it, my friend. And keep up the good work too. We enjoy your episodes. I do personally, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people do. God bless. Take care. And if I made a little sense or nonsense, I'm sorry if I made a little nonsense. But hey, that's what I consider is bullshit.